Hey YouTube, it's GV Loan Guy. It is February 8th, and today I'm finally getting around to making this Queen of Hungary formula. It's actually an internal sort of a tonic that you would take if you want to clean out your blood of impurities and infections and funguses and whatnot. This was developed in the 12th century for the Queen of Hungary, for a blood disease that she was suffering. I found this on the internet. I'll post the link below for the original video by a guy by the name of Tony. And in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and make it here and post a list down below that shows what the ingredients are. So here we go. All right. See, we've got a pot of a good-sized cooking pot here. We're ready to start filling up. And the first ingredient is a bottle of red wine. We're going to go ahead and add that bottle of wine. I chose a Shiraz just because we don't really drink much anymore, but this is a good red wine. Saving the bottle because later, after this is done, we're going to put it back in this bottle. All right. Now, to this wine, we're going to add some summer savory, which I have here. We're basically going to be adding a quarter cup of all these ingredients. And I'm approximating a quarter cup. Okay? Nothing too scientific about this. All right. Then we're going to put some cloves in here. Fresh cloves. Now cloves, we're only going to put probably a tablespoon. Just going to sprinkle those on in there. About a tablespoon's worth. Again, nothing super scientific going on here. Cinnamon. And for cinnamon, I got some fresh stuff. You can use anything you got. I got some fresh stuff here. Comes from the herb store, and they're these little chunks of real cinnamon. Let's put those in there. Again, about a quarter cup. Let's just throw those in there. Rosemary. Got about a quarter cup here, right straight out of the garden. Can't really see really good. I hope this is coming out. I'm going to put a quarter cup of that in there. Marjoram. Again, quarter cup. Marjoram. Thyme. Fresh from the garden. Just clipped it. Throw that in there. We've got some peppermint. Quarter cup peppermint. And Mediterranean oregano. Mediterranean oregano. All right. Cardamom. We will, again, because this is a powder form, we're going to put about a tablespoon in here. Not very accurate, but close enough for government work. And some bay leaves. Got a big old bag of bay leaves here. Oh, that cardamom really smells good. All right, let's get into these guys. Come on, fingers. Work for me. All right, here we go. Probably about a quarter cup. Turmeric. Turmeric root. Careful with this stuff, it'll stain everything. This one we're going to go a couple tablespoons. All right. Turmeric is good stuff. And finally, basically the same amount of water as we had wine. So I put 750 milliliters of water in here. And I think we got all the ingredients. Stir that up a second. Everything pushed down in there. Can't really get a good look down in there, but you can see what's going on. All right, so we got this all nice and covered. Let's move it over to the stove. All right, we're over at the stove. I've got it on the burner, and what we're going to do here is we are going to bring this to a boil. You can see all those goodies in there. We're going to bring this to a boil, and then we're going to let it simmer. After it comes to a boil, I'm going to turn it down low, let it simmer for a couple of hours, at least a couple of hours. So we'll let this get going. If we had some myrrh, we'd probably add that to it. I didn't have time to get that, so we're going without it this time. All right. So let me just let this sit here and get started on the boil, and we'll come back. By the way, while this is coming to a boil, I'm going to mention that if you don't have fresh ingredients, you can have dry ingredients. If you have powdered ingredients, just make it a tablespoon instead of a quarter cup. If you have bulk, you can use quarter cup measurements. And don't forget to save the wine bottle and the cork. Put this back in. The way you're going to take this is in 1 ounce shots several times a day. And this is a blood purifier. So it's an internal method of dealing with things in the blood. So we'll come back when this boils and we'll bring it down to a simmer. Okay, we got a boil going on here now. So I'm just going to let all this stuff boil up together and get nice and infused and commingled and all that going on. So we're going to let this sit here and simmer for at least 2 hours. And then I'll show you what to do with it after that. Okay, this stuff's been simmering for a couple hours now. So we're going to let it cool down, and then we'll run it through the strainer and get rid of all the chunky stuff. So we're going to let her cool down. Okay, we're going to go ahead and strain this into, I've got a 2-liter container. I've got the strainer here.
Yeah, what you do is like
and I'm going to put a paper filter in it.
what you need is like a bottle or something. You know, bottle. I don't know if you have any.
So I'm going to go ahead and pour this stuff right here into this. I'm going ahead and put a paper filter in there because I don't want any of the little fine stuff getting through either. So we'll just pour this in here and let this stuff filter. And there we go. Let's get all that out of there. So there we go. Now we'll let that filter through there. It's going to come through there nice and clean. That's just a giant commercial coffee filter. So when this is done, we'll put it back in this bottle, put the cork back on it, and we'll have our Queen of Hungary blood purifier ready to go. There you go. Thanks for watching. Pretty tough. Oh, can't even break. For blood disease that she was suffering. I found this on the internet. I'll post the link below for the original video by a guy by the name of Tony. And in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and make it here and post a list down below that shows what the ingredients are. So here we go. All right. Hey YouTube, it's GV Loan Guy. It is February 8th, and today I'm finally getting around to making this Queen of Hungary formula. It's actually an internal sort of a tonic that you would take if you want to clean out your blood of impurities and infections and funguses and whatnot. This was developed in the 12th century for the Queen of Hungary, because we don't really drink much anymore, but this is a good red one. Saving the bottle because later, after this is done, we're going to put it back in this bottle. All right. Now, see, we've got a pot of a good-sized cooking pot here. We're ready to start filling up, and the first ingredient is a bottle of red wine. We're going to go ahead and add that bottle of wine. I chose a Shiraz just because